Here we are. We made it. I'm hiding here in the shadow. To my left, we have a Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is somewhere behind the Basilica. We have it. We made it. This was the ultimate Via Ferrata Adventure YouTube mini-series. What a triumph. Whew. Woo! Imagine this. I'm tired. I have muscle cramp because I had to go back. I was already tired. I had to go back to recover the X3 Insta360 camera. I was lucky. I have it back. In here, oh, a small vertical. Fast, fast, fast. Let's introduce what will happen now. This is the ultimate Via Ferrata adventure. We climbed Schlossberg Via Ferrata. We've been on Mučevo in Slovenia from Griffin, Austria, and now we are returning to Austria and climbing Peterlewand. I will do a mix in the beginning of introductions. I recall having a video in my pajamas, so bear with me. Then I will mix a bit the key moments, yes, while traveling and so forth, and then we go straight into it. My apologies for how I look. I've only thrown something on me to be decent. We did it. There is Adventure Climb Varmost. It starts here. Well, it starts there to then go up there. What a journey so far. Today we are here commemorating the 1963 event. Ferrata della Memoria is the name of it. The name comes from the events that happened in 1963 and today they are commemorated. We will go through some tunnels. We'll get out somewhere here to then go to the ladder and start our ascent. It will be difficult here in the beginning, but then the rest, theoretically, it is straightforward, easy. I don't remember properly how it is. A lot happened in this past couple of days, which is expected. I lost the flip-flops. It still stays in my head. They've been taken away by an animal, by a person. I'm bothered by it big time. Woo! Woo! Wow, what an adventure! I'm coming from around the corner where I reconnected to the safety steel cable. The reason I'm updating you now, it was relatively easy so far, but look what comes next. We have a vertical. This is a straight vertical. I don't know what to say. It appears difficult. This is our last climb, part of this ultimate Via Ferrata adventure. And what an adventure. This, Rino Pisetta, is the crown jewel of Via Ferrata in Italy. And what a climb. It is straight on the vertical most of the times. You have time to rest, but it definitely is challenging. Thank you for being with me, for watching the previous 5 climbs as part of this mini YouTube series. I hope you liked the concept. I hope you enjoyed it. What an adventure. What a journey. We started in Austria with enthusiasm, knowing how hard Schlossberg Via Ferrata will be. We moved from there to Slovenia to refresh a bit ourselves in the wet, cold gorgees of Mučevo Via Ferrata. We did that, again, extremely difficult, a challenge to then move back to Austria, climb Peterlewand, Via Ferrata, and rest a bit. We then moved to Italy. We climbed Adventure Climb Varmost. after waiting for rain to just go away and let us do it, we drove down to Via Ferrata della Memoria to then finish with Rino Pisetta. What a journey! What a journey! Each Via Ferrata is special. They have particular traits that make them just an ultimate Via Ferrata adventure. It doesn't mean other Via Ferrata are not worthy this title of an ultimate Via Ferrata adventure. It means that I've been on this Via Ferrata over and over again because I like them that much, also because of their particularities. But again, there are so many other Via Ferrata being as special as these 6 Via Ferrata. What did I learn from these 6 climbs? Trying to squeeze them in a week time. Climbing them is not easy. At the end of it, you feel good. It really, really feels good. If you get tired in the beginning when you start, by the end of it, you'll no longer feel it. The pain, the hurt, you being exhausted fades away. You are left with only enjoying the journey, understanding that it soon ends. From there, you just get out, return home. You'll then think, as I'm thinking now, what a journey, what an amazing adventure. I was on a mission, on a roll, literally on a roll. I started with Schlossberg. I had to do Schlossberg. I had to do Mučevo. I had to do Peterlewand. Well, with Peterlewand, I started to rest a bit, which was good because it gave me the moment to take a breath. Then I go to Adventure Climb Varmost, where it was raining. I wanted to climb, but climbing while it is raining is dangerous. On Hans Kammerlander, for example, which I recently climbed, at the beginning they say, if it rains, don't do it because the wall attracts lightning, which makes it dangerous. You can die. Hence, I could not do it. It was raining. I had to wait for rain to go away. And it did go away. I did climb Adventure Climb Varmost. What a journey. What a Via Ferrata. If you do it a couple of times, it for sure becomes easy. But if it is your first time, the elements it presents are in a sequence that makes it unique. We moved from there to commemorate the 1963 natural event of a viant dam that unfortunately killed 2,000 people, almost 2,000 people in Longarone. We climbed that. I will say is not that difficult. Its difficulty level is overrated. Hence, I think somehow it is accessible to everyone. And that was that. We were left with Rino Pisetta. This was probably the longest drive we took. I got there quite late in the day. Nobody on the trail, nobody on the Via Ferrata, which made it perfect. Quiet on the valley. You could see how the sun goes away. And then the valley under the Via Ferrata is opening so wide, it definitely impresses you right from the beginning. You finish the first segment, to climb the first segment, and that's that. You look behind and you can see it. It is mesmerizing. The way the valley opens up, it will intimidate you. Somehow will inspire that emotion of lost control, which is good. It is one of the things we are aiming for. And that was that. It finished. I was done. After 7 days, we had it. We climbed 6 Via Ferrata in 7 days. Imagine that. It was supposed to be 6 Via Ferrata in 6 days, but of course we had to wait for rain to let us continue the journey. What a journey. What an amazing adventure. Why did I envision this ultimate Via Ferrata adventure like this? Why this journey? Why this Via Ferrata? Well, there is a reason. One of the considerations was ability to squeeze them in a week. Because if you want to do it, it has to be achievable. If I would have chosen other Via Ferrata, maybe they would have been too far away of each other. I could not do that. This was a discriminatory criteria. They have to be close enough to allow one to travel from one Via Ferrata to the other, to attempt climbing them in 6 days. Then it is also about the journey itself. When you move from one to the other, you change country, you change culture. You get to a point where your state of mind will transition from a place to the other. This was important because starting in Austria, moving right away to Slovenia, where it is quiet, you get to see the quiet part of Slovenia as well. To then go back to Austria, and it is yet again quiet. And here comes the other thing, another discriminatory criteria that I considered. The idea of a climb was to give you the ability to be able to do it, because Schlossberg is extreme, it's difficult. On the upper body will drain you. After Schlossberg, if you just do Mučevo in Slovenia, it might be easy because it is relatively short. You give it all you have, and that's that, you've done it. But if you do Mučevo right after Schlossberg, it becomes a difficult Via Ferrata because now your upper body is pumped, it burns, you are tired, your palms, you are feeling the pain. To now go to Mučevo, which in the majority of the cases goes on the vertical. This makes of this exercise something that is intense. It drains you, it drills you to the point of you feeling the strength that you have to employ to just go through the experience. Then you leave Mučevo in Slovenia, back through Griffin to climb Peterlewand. Peterlewand is really special. It's not that difficult. When you put it on the chart and measure all its elements, is maybe the easiest of all of them when you stay and think. The only thing that Peterlewand has in terms of difficulty is a short overhang, and here it is where it hits you. It hits you psychologically. You go there, you try to get into the segment, and you see how the wall pushes you down. And when it does that, you start feeling how you lose control of your verticality, to then looking down see a huge boulder. At least in my case, and I have people saying the same thing, it gets into your head. Of course, if you are experienced and you have strong arms, there is no issue. You just cruise through it. But are you? You see, not all of us are experienced climbers or strong people. I'm average. I guess a large majority of us are average. You get there on Peterlewand, you try to approach the segment, and it hits you, and that's that. Now your brain has to have the ability to just go through it, through the experience, not get out of it, because if you return back, as I did, not good. You didn't accomplish the mission. Schlossberg Via Ferrata, it is about strength and resilience. You have to be strong, you have to have the force, the resilience to get out of it. Mučevo is more about enjoyment. You go there because it really entertains you. The gorges are amazing. The route itself, while extreme, it is not that hard to put you in too much trouble. Yes, it has two very difficult segments, but the rest is not that hard. It makes of it entertainment. When you go to Peterlewand, the whole Via Ferrata is a web. You can go in all directions, everything is easy. There is some two spots might be a bit difficult, but the rest is extremely easy. And one might wonder, what am I doing here? Why am I coming to Peterlewand? Well, on one hand you have this overhang that puts you in a unique position. You have to solve it. You have to deal with the demons inside your head. On another hand, it's about resting. Just go and rest a bit. In proximity, I was able to find a lake, and it's a couple of them. I took a swim. I relaxed. After Schlossberg and Mučevo, I needed that. I needed to lower it a bit, allow my body to regenerate, become strong again. From here, I moved to Italy. From Peterlewand, the journey takes you to Italy. So you see, this was the idea of envisioning this ultimate Via Ferrata like this. You start from one place, You circle there in that proximity of Austria to then slide down. On your way, you don't have to deviate at all. Slide down into Italy. When you do that, the drive itself is amazing because you have these turns and then the high passes. You get to Forni di Sopra in Provincia di Udine, which is quiet. It's not like Cortina d'Ampezzo. It's not like other places where it is busy. Like here, it is so busy, you cannot imagine. It is quiet. You get there, it changes your psychology. But topography changes completely. Now you are in a different world. Everything changes. Everything, the whole perspective. And this is another reason why I chose this itinerary, because it takes you through all these small increments of change. To me, this helps the experience to be even more. You get there, you relax a moment to then either take the chairlift if you are in peak season and it functions, or otherwise do the 1 hour hard, steep, aggressive approach. You do that, you get to the base of the Via Ferrata. The question is why? Why is Adventure Climb Varmost on the list? Well, the elements. You have a combination of French and German style. In theory, this is the correct way of building a Via Ferrata. Of course, it introduces a lot of complexity. With complexity can come human error. Hence, this Via Ferrata becomes interesting just by having this mix of German and French style safety steel cables installed. Then, while the introduction to it is lean, you have a crack, you go through it, not even cables because you don't need. Then you have a short descent, then you have a ladder, comes a bridge, short bridge, no emotions there. And then you go on a sort of ledge to approach the start of a thrill. Because right at the beginning of the vertical section, which is the whole exercise practically, you have an overhang. Now, it is an overhang, and the secret of doing overhangs usually is arms fully extended, cruise through it as fast as you can. But here comes the complexity of a problem. You have a French style safety steel cable. French style means loose, so it's not tightened, it's not straight. It is loose with loops at the anchor point. You cannot grab that. You have to rely on the pegs, on the rungs. The problem with that is you have to stop. There is no other option than to stop to do the anchor point transition. But this is French style. To drag the carabiners, the lanyards of Via Ferrata set takes a moment. You are now overhanging and forced because the transition is right there. Where is the overhang? They didn't do the transition after the overhang or a moment earlier to allow you to do the transition and then jump the overhang without worrying. No, you literally have to stop overhanging and do the anchor point transition. What an amazing idea the builders had. This is what poses the problem. This is what makes this Via Ferrata interesting. And you do that, and then you cruise the vertical because it is easy. But then comes the exit from that vertical, and guess what? Yet another overhang. What a brilliant idea. Now you have another overhang to solve, and you'll solve it. The Via Ferrata itself also moves you from the right to the left. So you have to take the lanyards of the Via Ferrata set from the right, put them on the left, which again is good exercise. To then the wall starting to push you left and right outside. It doesn't want you on it, which makes it interesting. You are pushed outside, and now eventually you have a diagonal on a sort of ledge, and from there you can see the drop, because the drop now becomes more and more. And there you are crunched, and you have to go through it. And crunched, you go through it. It's easy, it's not difficult. To then come to the last vertical before you start exiting on a level E segment of it, which is long as 10 to 15 minutes. And this last vertical here is yet again facing you with a slight overhang that you have to solve. And you'll solve, you'll do. Great. And we have it. We climbed Adventure Climb Varmost in Forni di Sopra. Now, remember this, Forni di Sopra is still Dolomiti Mountain. Actually, I think I'm seeing it properly. When you look from the top, you see Trecime di Lavaredo. This is my impression. I didn't check the map properly to see if they are really the Trecime di Lavaredo, but I think they are the Trecime di Lavaredo. And Trecime di Lavaredo definitely is Dolomiti Mountains. We have it. Adventure Climb Varmost might not be that long, might not take you on who knows what mountain peak, but it definitely is a good exercise to solve. And here comes the other thing, the other criteria through which I discriminated. The Via Ferrata included on this list had to force you to solve exercises. It wasn't just about the climb, it wasn't just about reaching the top, it was about solving an exercise. Adventure Climb Varmost makes you do that, no problem. The Peterlewand, Via Ferrata, same. You have that overhang, you have to solve it. On Mučevo, you definitely have to solve it because the two verticals are not easy, and then you have some diagonals that pose a problem. To then on Schlossberg, Schlossberg builds momentum. Starts not that difficult, but then it keeps going and going and going and becoming harder and harder and harder. And it introduces newer and more overhanging situations, overhanging scenarios. They are not all the same. You go on a diagonal, you might think, oh, it's easy, it's a diagonal. No, it's yet another type of overhanging. And you have to solve that. We moved from Adventure Climb Varmost to climb Via Ferrata della Memoria. The night before was a good rest. The parking is in the forest, you have shadow, it's quiet, you don't hear the cars. It is amazing. Then starts the climb. The climb is not that difficult. The problem with the climb is the rock being too polished because too many are climbing that Via Ferrata. And this doesn't give you enough support for your feet to be able to push yourself up. And this is what makes it difficult. Otherwise, this climb, it is more about the history, the story, the elements of it. The approach starts through the forest, 2 minutes, and from there you get to tunnels. It is my first time encountering tunnels here at Via Ferrata della Memoria, and I liked it. Hence, I returned just for the tunnels. But then you have a viant dam, and then you have a drop. The drop is huge, and the dam is so big, majestic, sneaking on you from around the corner. You almost don't see it. You go through the tunnels, and now you reach the Via Ferrata. You go on a ledge, which makes it feel like Boquete Centrale, for example, or La Strada delle 52 Gallerie. It is a good sensation. It really takes you through history, because that tunnels, they've been built with a purpose there. That mountains, they've been part of a war there. Hence, yes, the emotional charge is different. And now you are also in Italy, and you are in the quiet part of Italy, somehow isolated from the crowds, from the madness, from the fads and the fashion, the whole influencing, whatever. You start the Via Ferrata, you keep going on the vertical, quite long, the exit itself long as well. The emotions it inspires are completely different. And when you think of the story of it, how a part of a mountain drops into the water, holded by the dam, to then create a splash, a wave of 200 meters high, 200 meters, imagine. It's huge. To then go over the dam, through the valley, and almost destroying the whole village, Longarone city. Amazing history, dramatic, but it happened, it is what it is. We can only commemorate that. And this gives us actually space and time to recover, because the next Via Ferrata will be Rino Pisetta. It closes the circle. You move from one side of Italy to another, not far away, still close to the mountains, still in Dolomiti Mountains, but it makes you shift, it makes you transition. You reach Rino Pisetta, which is considered to be the pearl of Italy. Now, years later, after doing it first time, looking back to it, I can see it's not that difficult. It is difficult, let's be clear about that. What helps with Rino Pisetta is
the natural holds, which allow you to just pull or push yourself up. It is amazing. Now, why did Rino Pisetta made it on the list? Well, another discriminatory criteria was all these Via Ferrata, they have to have something. They have to stick out of a crowd with something special. We have the La Memoria with a commemoration. We have Mučevo, which is so hidden and beautiful. We have Schlossberg, which is a real challenge. We have Peterlewand as a web. I didn't find any other like this up to this point. Then you have Adventure Climb, which it definitely stands out through how it was built. To then have Rino Pisetta, which is considered the pearl of Italy. Here we are. What an adventure. The drive was easy. Resting time between climbs enough to recover and start with the next one. By the end of it, the stream of emotions, they've been so many and changed so much, so dramatically, that you get there at the end of Rino Pisetta. What I felt doing was shouting. I did that. I did shout because this is what I was inspired to do. What an adventure. What a journey. I did it. It took a while. I planned this for a long, very, very long time. And now we have it. We have it. I will probably later on reflect on it. I will definitely return to each one of them. Definitely. I hope you liked it. If you didn't see it yet, I hope you will, to then enjoy it.